His skin is white just like a ghost, thick Irish roots and his blonde hair. And he sounds like a Chicago superfan, a music nerd with a collection of CDs from here to there. Yes, Andy Dare is in Chicago, interviewing and barbecuing. It's the Andy Dare Show. It's the Andy Dare Show.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for checking out the Andy Dare Show. This is episode 124. I am joined by a mysterious dude named Sly Jones, and he just got this project, Meow the Jewels, to create over $40,000 for charity. And it's a really cool story. I'm going to fill you all in about that. And it's a great interview. I want to thank Sly for taking the time out of his day to explain this awesome achievement that he has been a big part of. And if you love hip-hop, if you love cats, if you love interesting business methods and just unique ways of marketing, and really the perfect way of using Kickstarter, check out Meow the Jewels. And follow them at Twitter at Meow the Jewels. And from there, you can go right to the Kickstarter page and donate. Just want to say that they have already crossed the amount that they have asked for. But so anything else is just gravy on top of the mashed potatoes. And they want to thank everybody who has contributed to the Meow the Jewels project. In other news, I'd like to thank everybody who has supported my podcast network called Darer Network. And from the East Coast, Staten Island, New York City, we got Jay Porks. He's a concert goer. He's also a waiter. He talks about his whole life. He's unique. He's funny. Check it out, jporks.com, and follow him on Twitter at jporks. And all the way across the country, we got Tyler Kale. And yes, he is from Hollywood, California. He's into models. He's into doppelgangers. He's into comedy and sports. And the guy's a great guy. Totally funny. Totally with it. Check him out. Follow him at Twitter at Tyler Kale. And that's Kahl. Just want to thank everybody. Follow the network on Twitter. That's Darer Network, DERER.
And now the break is here. You're listening to Andy Deer, the AndyDeerShow.com for all your Deer Network podcast needs.
Also, proud to say that I've been helping out with Resistance Pro Wrestling even more. I've probably gone there about 7 or 8 events now. Almost 2 years I've been going. It's a great family-friendly environment. It's cool. It's owned, the creative director is Billy Corgan, and it's owned by the Barron brothers, and it's pretty much just a cool independent wrestling league right out here in the suburbs of Chicago. And next Saturday, October 25th, join them. They will be Resistance Pro presents Rust in Peace. And October 25th, the doors open at 6 p.m. Bell time is 7:30, and tickets can be found at resistancepro.com/tickets. I just want to tell you that I always have a great time there. Everybody is super friendly. All the talent is super friendly. You get a real cool family vibe that these guys are also friends. This is all just a cool creative experience. And Arabian Nights Horse Barn in Willowbrook, Illinois, October 25th. I would definitely say check it out. And if not for Jesse Corrigan, for Crazy Mary Dobson, and Madman Pondo, for Eric St. Vaughn. Who knows? Who knows who will show up, who will be part of the thing. But I do tell you that it's a cool, awesome experience, and especially for Halloween. Bring the kids, bring them in costume. There will be a costume contest. And just want to thank everybody at Resistance Pro Wrestling for being always real nice people to me. Speaking of Jesse Corrigan, I was on his podcast last week called Jesse's World is the podcast. You can find it on iTunes. Jesse is his name. Jesse Anderson is his real name. He's Billy Corgan's brother. He works with Resistance Pro. He's got a lot of cool stories to tell. He's a funny guy. And, he's part of the Rebellion Podcast Network, the Rebellion Network, and therebellionnetwork.com. Check it out. I think I'm the second to latest episode of Jesse's World. It's cool. You get to hear some of my story. You get to hear some of Jesse's. We crack wise. I think it's about 45 minutes long. And, had a good experience going down there and taping that in Wrigleyville. I want to thank Nick from the Rebellion Network for letting me come onto the show. And I'd like to do it again if he's willing. So, thanks for all the people who checked out the Andy Dare Show, everybody who's been a guest, a sponsor, a listener, a word spreader. I mean, if you retweet my stuff, if you share it on Facebook, that means as much as downloading to me. So I do appreciate it. And, we're almost 4 years into this. It's been a long, strange trip, but I'm glad you're with us. And, without further ado, here is my episode 124 with special guest Sly Jones of Meow the Jewels.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up, man? How's it going?
Okay, pretty good. Let me just make sure we're recording. And, you sound pretty good. Let me start it off then. Hey, everybody.
Sounds good.
Hey, everybody, thank you so much for checking out the Andy Dare Show. This is episode 124, and I'm joined by Fly from Meow the Jewels, the new Kickstarter project. How you doing, man?
Oh, not bad at all, man. Thanks for having me.
No problem at all. Yeah, I just been reading your tweets, and I saw this news come up. Maybe, how long have you been doing the project for? It can't be longer than like a month, right?
Yeah, it's right at a month right now. I think we have 15 days left because I set it up for 45 days to kind of coincide with the launch of our Run the Jewels 2.
Nice. And you guys are a little bit shy of how much more do you need to fund this thing?
Just shy of 10,000. We're right at 35,000 right now, and the goal is 45,100.
Nice. Yeah, so taking it back for my audience here, this was just kind of a goof or a joke that LP put on the site saying, if you raise 40 grand, I'll remix the whole Run the Jewels 2 project with cat sounds. And somebody took him up on it, and that's you, right?
Yeah, exactly, man. Like, I guess the way he explained it is, he just got stoned and came up with a bunch of these pre-order package ideas. And it was all pretty much a joke. And then I actually saw him tweet and say, man, I really hope somebody will fund Meow the Jewels. So, as a joke in response to their joke, I made the Kickstarter, and before it even went live and launched, I tweeted it to him, and he was like, holy shit, somebody made a Meow the Jewels Kickstarter. And then I got floods of tweets from people like, dude, make this go live right now so I can donate. So I was like, all right, cool. And I made it go live. In 2 days, we got 10 grand. So like I said, at first it was kind of a joke, but then LP actually reached out to me, and we actually chopped it up. And after talking for a little bit, we decided that if we could actually do it, it would be an all-charity project. So once we talked and saw that we were on the same page, we decided to go. I had his full support as well as the support of Mass Appeal, Killer Mike, and everybody involved, all their management. So they were kind of hyped about it. And like I said, it started as a joke, and then we started taking it very serious because we decided that once you pay him, he's going to donate that money to the families of Eric Brown and Mike Brown and Eric Gardner, excuse me.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the backstory of that. Who are those guys?
They're actually victims of police brutality. They were actually killed by the police this year. Eric Gardner in New York, and then Mike Brown was shot in Ferguson, Missouri, actually. So, like I said, the project, it's based on stupidity and a joke, but it's really, we're going to use it to speak out, you know what I mean?
Nice.
Like, for a change, speak out against social injustices and, like, all the police brutality that's going on right now. So it's actually a really good cause, and that's kind of why everybody's getting on board. Plus, it's an album with cat sounds. I mean, come on.
You can't beat it. So even like their album or the record label Mass Appeal is behind it. And who owns Mass Appeal? Isn't that like Diplo or something, or some big?
I don't know offhand, but I know Run the Jewels actually signed to them for this release. So, like I said, they're definitely behind it. They were excited about it. They reached out to me. and like I have their full support. So that was kind of a blessing right there, just to have their support and have them have my back on it. So.
Yeah, that's a lot of, soldiers fighting your war for you. That'll be real nice to have the whole record label and then LP, of course. And, yeah, with the power of Twitter nowadays, you just reach out to the guy and then he spreads the word to his audience and pretty soon you get, 50 tweets coming your way, all in support of the idea. And something that would have never happened even, 6 or 7 years ago, right?
Oh yeah, exactly. Like I said, man, it's kind of a blessing because, like at first people weren't really taking it serious. There were some fans who were just diehard fans who just wanted to see it. But then once they saw that, I actually had the support of the record label and the actual artist, they were like, okay, this is real. This is going to actually happen. Let's support it. And like I said, recently, LP actually reached out to a bunch of his friends that decided that they wanted to get on board. So we have like all-star producer cast, and it's like it's really going to happen. I feel like because in the past couple of days we've raised almost $20,000. So,
yeah, and I saw the roster, and it is sick. I mean, you got Dan the Automator, you got Alchemist, you got a whole bunch of dudes on there. So they're all going to play with Cat Sounds too and do their own spin on a couple Run the Jewels tracks?
Exactly. So now we basically have 12 producers who are all going to be competing with each other to make the dopest track with Cat Sounds. And I mean, if you know LP's production style at all, this guy is like an evil genius mastermind behind the board. So I can only imagine what he's going to do. And then, you got Dan the Automator, Prince Paul, Handsome Boy Modeling School, of course. You got the Quakers, Bauer. You got Danny Brown's producer, Skywalker. You got Zola Jesus, Alchemist. There's just so many, even Just Blaze. There's so many different styles and aspects that I feel like it's going to be something really special. It's just something that's never been done before, and people are really looking forward to it. And I mean, that plus the excitement behind Run the Jewels too. And, no one's even heard that album yet, and we're excited for it. So
nice. So you haven't gotten a copy before it released, or?
No. Unfortunately not. I've heard the same tracks you guys have.
Yeah.
And actually, they just released a new track this morning. I forget the name. It's like Open Your Eyes and I can't remember the name.
Something like
they
that.
dropped a new track today. Yeah.
I've seen the track list, and yeah, I mean, the first one blew my mind. Being a fan of LPs since like the late 90s. I mean, late 90s Company Flow and all that stuff. Def Jux just started with that whole indie hip-hop boom. You had Sound Bombing, Ruckus Records, Eastern Conference. That was a great time to be in high school for me as far as getting music, listening to new hip-hop music. But
definitely.
At the same time, LP, his rhymes were more like angry and more just, not exactly like flowing with the beat and stuff. And now he's learned that along with his crazy sci-fi beats that he comes up with. So now he's got the smooth flow with those beats. And I think he's really hit another level with Run the Jewels. How long have you been a fan for?
I've actually been following LP since his Company Flow days, like I said, the 90s. And I've been a fan of Killer Mike since he was an underground battle rapper in Atlanta, back when he was Killer Kill from the Ville.
Nice.
So I've actually followed both of them for such a long time. But what's great is both of them they've always included like their beliefs and their ideals and their morals into their music.
Sure.
So just it's great that now they're still able to share that message, but still have still not take themselves too seriously and still have elements of humor and things of that nature. So I just feel like both of them together definitely have hit their stride this year. So.
Oh yeah, and like two different styles that you would never have guessed, like Peanut Butter and Jelly, kind of like a guy from New York City and a guy from Atlanta, and it's not like the Outkast style was too similar to Company Flow or anything, but they must have found common ground and must have totally hit it off when they first met or something like that, because they definitely got chemistry, and I think this project could keep going in the future.
Definitely. I hope to see you Run the Jewels 3 and 4 and 5 and keep on going, because they definitely, like I said, they definitely have their chemistry together. LP's beats with Killer Mike's rhymes and LP's rhymes, just a great thing together. So
sure, yeah, like for the last 10 years or something, LP was putting all of his efforts into Def Jux, his record label, and I could just see it kind of coincided with like the death of being able to make a viable income selling music and stuff like that, and all these labels just started having trouble. I wonder if LP probably feels like a load is lifted off his shoulders now that he doesn't have 25 artists that he has to have on his record label and probably working every single day and night on his record label. Now you can give that up to somebody else and just focus on making a killer record. I think that's got to be a kind of a nice place to be in for LP.
Definitely, and what they've actually proved is that all it takes is a core fan base. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like if you make music for your core fans, the rest will follow.
Sure.
So they like I said, they found their lane and they know how to stick to it. So it's like they don't try to step out. I mean, they step outside of their boundaries. They do different things, but like I said, at the end of the day, they're making music for their core fan base, and they keep them happy with their releases.
Sure, yeah, and it's nice to just worry about LP, not worry about Mr. Liff, A$AP Rock, all these different artists. Even though those artists are awesome, it's sure just got to be a ton of work to keep it up, especially in this changing, a musical industry place where it's tough. You got to actually hit the pavement. You got to play shows. You got to do all these things. Can't just rely on having people buy music, which with you guys, I mean, you're funding this quite easily. I mean, not easily, but you guys are making a lot of money for this thing, and it just shows that it's a different era we're in, right?
Yeah, definitely. And then, like I said, it goes back to the fan base thing. He has the fan base already, so you offer the fans something cool and fun and different, something that they can get involved in. People really get behind that. Like, they get passionate about it. Like I said, one of the rewards here is having your cat featured on the album. Like, who else is going to let a fan get involved to that point? Or we even have the rewards here where a fan actually gets a chance to produce a record, and somebody got that. So now we have this guy who's been a fan of LP since the 90s, and now he's going to produce a track on the record. So
that's
you
so
don't
awesome.
have a chance to do that with anybody else.
You're kind of breaking down the whole boundary of artist and audience at this point, and it's such it's a good future we're living in. How about like the first time you saw LP live, and then I'll tell you mine. Or have you seen him live?
I actually saw him live with Killer Mike when they did the first run of Run the Jewels.
Nice.
And they came out here to Phoenix. I saw the show then, and I mean it's mind blowing. Like you hear a lot of people on CD or record, and then you see them perform live, and it's kind of disappointing because they rap over the tracks, or it's just they're not really passionate about it. But when you see these guys at the show, they're really out there rapping word for word over the instrumental and not over the actual track, and they get you so involved, and like it's crazy to see the fans in the crowd singing the songs word for word a week after the album comes out.
Sure,
like
yeah.
They're coming out here to Phoenix maybe like a week or two after the album drops, and I guarantee you, pretty much everybody in the crowd is going to know that entire album. That's just, I tell you, their fans are diehard fans. It's crazy.
And it's all over the country, too. Even in Phoenix, Arizona, the kid from New York City and a guy from Atlanta are playing to a crowd. That's awesome. Like, my first time seeing him was actually 2002 when he just dropped Fantastic Damage. And
oh, yeah. That was the second album on Def Jux, right?
Yeah, actually, no, that was actually the first. Yeah, his first solo.
One, the first one.
The red one.
The second one was I'll Sleep When You're Dead, yeah.
Exactly. And so this is back when he just started the record label, pretty much. He had Mr. Liff and A$AP Rock with him, and he also had Cage and Copyright, which is an interesting combo. And the LP was sick or had some problem with his voice. His voice was completely dead by about 3/4 of his set, but he kept rapping as though there was no problem. He was beat red. He was almost out of oxygen, and he's throwing every last bit of himself into this set. Just at this club, not a huge show or anything like that, but he played it like this was his last show and he has to prove everything. And that's when I immediately was like, okay, LP's in it for good. He's going to be doing this for 30 years,
Definitely. That's what I love about both of them. It doesn't matter the size of the crowd, whether it's one person or 100 people. They're rapping like it's their last show and like they're rapping for thousands of people, And that's great because they're giving their all to those people who paid that money to go see the show. So to me, that's a dedication. And I mean, that's why they get so much love from their fans. I feel like that's why we're even able to fund this project, because they've given their fans so much love over the years. Now they're reciprocating that,
Yeah, that's an awesome thing.
And like I said, it's for a good cause. So people really get behind that, and they see that it's not all about the money for them. Because they could have just took that $40,000 and said, oh, we're just going to keep it and we'll do the album. But no, we're going to give that to somebody and help somebody and speak out and, you know, make our cause known.
Yeah, and it'll also help sales of the actual album too, and it'll help spread the word of that actual album. This thing has got to be hitting the news pretty good because it's such an interesting idea. How about like some of the tiers on your Kickstarter? Like, what do they get if they give $10, or how about 50, or what's like? How about the first couple tiers on that?
The first couple tiers, just like the $10, you know, you just get a digital copy, you get a Meow tweet from the account, and a hearty thumbs up. And
Good
then
vibes.
as you go up, as you go up like $20, you get a sticker. $50, I believe it was matches. $75, you get a lighter. And then once you get to like the $100 tier, there's T-shirts, and then, you know, the highest tier we had was 5,000, and that person actually gets the limited edition vinyl autographed by them, and it's actually one of one.
Which you're saying that they are going to.
If it happens, you know, we'll get that pressed up for that one person.
So they are going to just press
one.
one.
I'm actually not sure if it's ever going to go to. That's the thing. If somebody buys it, they'll press that one, and then it'll be limited to one of one. But if nobody buys that one, I couldn't tell you if they're actually going to go with hard copies or not. That's something that's kind of out of my hands.
Sure.
That's really like their decision and the label's decision. But like I said, I've already spoke to them, and pretty much anything we do with this that does generate money is going to get donated. So at this time, I really couldn't speak on it if they're going to do anything like that, because
Sure.
people have been asking for the shirts. They want to buy the shirts and this and that, but they don't want to sell them because they don't want to make money from it. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So right now it's going to the backers because, you know, they want the backers to have something exclusive to them and let people know, like, hey, I helped with this project. That's why I have this shirt. You know?
Exactly. It's like being a part of a club, and that's another cool all-inclusive thing too.
Exactly. And like I said, the main thing when me and LP talked, the main thing he was adamant about is he did not want to make $1 off this. Like, he does not want to make anything. And I agreed. I was like, I don't want to make anything either. Like, it's pretty much been a full-time job for me between my regular job and doing this all day, every day. And like I said, I'm not making a buck off of it. I'm just really passionate about the cause and about the music. So to me, that's payment enough. Is just being a part of it. I feel blessed just to be involved.
This episode of The Andy Dare Show is brought to you in part by Uncle Bub's award-winning barbecue in Westmont, Illinois. Family-owned and operated since 1997, Uncle Bub's is the real deal barbecue. A family-friendly restaurant open 7 days a week. Also, it's a full-service catering company doing weddings, pig roasts, luau's, grill packages, you name it. They have a friendly, helpful staff that will make sure that your party goes off without a hitch. Call them at 630-493-9000. Visit them at 132 South Cass Avenue in Westmont, Illinois, and UncleBubs.com. Hey man, I know you like grilling. I know you like getting those dark grill marks on your burgers, fish, chicken. And I know you don't want to just dry your meat out like you're cooking with a hairdryer. Why not get the Man Grate and click through the AndyDareShow.com's banner so we can keep the lights on here at Honeycomb Hideout Studios in gorgeous Westmont, Illinois. The Man Grate. This episode of The Andy Dare Show is brought to you in part by Record Utopia, a music lover's dream with thousands of vinyl records, musical instruments, and sound gear. They buy, sell, and trade. Give them a call at 630-963-1957. Visit them in Westmont, Illinois at 309 West Ogden Avenue, on the web at recordutopia.com. It's always a good, relaxed atmosphere. Check them out, Record Utopia.
This is just really cool. We're just about done here, but a couple more things. I think having all those names, Dan the Automator, Prince Paul, Jeff Barrow from Portishead, Alchemist, I couldn't see why the label, if this all happens and everything goes as according to plan, I could totally see them pressing it up as like a double disc, you know, the first disc being the regular.
That would be really sweet. That would be really sweet. And I mean, if they did, like I said, that would just be more money donated to something, you know? And I've even got fans saying we need a festival behind this. Like, there's so many people involved. They said we need Meow the festival. So who knows, man? Sky's the limit about what could happen. But right now, we're just focused on meeting our goal and just making it happen first. Anything that happens after that, I couldn't really tell you, man. I really hope more comes out of it, but I couldn't tell you.
Who knows? Let's just get this funded. How many days left and how much money needed?
15 days left, 10,000 left needed. Kickstarter is actually projecting us to get the goal plus 25 extra %.
Whoa.
So.
Oh yeah, that was a
possible.
cool thing too. I'm reading the Twitter and it goes, I back this, and it's the guy who invented Twitter. Or no, the guy who invented Kickstarter. Excuse me.
Yeah, he's actually a big fanboy of LP and Cold Flow. So that was it was a very humbling experience to see somebody on that level involved. It was really crazy to see that.
Yeah, I was surprised the guy is like in his 20s and into hip hop, and he's the owner of Kickstarter. You wouldn't not expect it, right?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome, man. And I know LP was really, really excited about that as well. He's the one who actually told me about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge backing, even if it's just having the name recognition of the owner of Kickstarter backing your project and helping fund it. Yeah, they can find it by just Googling, or do you go on Kickstarter/Meow the Jewels? How do they find more info?
If you just go to twitter.com/meowthejewels, the link to the Kickstarter is actually in the bio. Or if you just type in Meow the Jewels on Google, it's the first thing that pops up. Even if you type in Run the Jewels, it pops up right under that. Like, there's so many ways to find it. It's pretty easy. Even going to Kickstarter.com and then searching, you can just search by Meow the Jewels. I believe it's if you go to the hip hop section on Kickstarter, it's one of the top 2 or 3 projects on there. Yeah, it's pretty high up there.
So once this gets funded, when do the producers start working on this stuff? Are they going to be getting it in by the end of the year, or is this something like next year planned, or what's the deal?
From what I recall, speaking with LP, that they have to finish up their tour and everything, but I believe everybody's going to start working on it, and he's kind of projecting a release of possibly January. Like I said, once again, I don't want to give you a concrete date and then it not come through. But regardless, it will happen. Like, that's a guarantee.
Yeah.
It will happen once it's funded. But like I said, it's looking like January, and all the backers will get their rewards around the same time, like end of December, beginning of January-ish.
Gotcha.
So it's all going to come full circle around the same time. So, I mean, I imagine everybody's kind of working on it right now. I know LP's been auditioning cats at local shelters and such, and bookmarking sounds, and I think Alchemist already has some Meow hi-hats.
Nice. Well, it's got to be nice.
Pretty sweet if they're working on it.
Yeah, it's got to be nice having like all the friends to all these super producers helping LP, so it's just not LP in the lab. He can just do a couple of the tracks, and then so it lifts a little bit of the burden off just him. But he's got he's got friends in high places. You guys got awesome names on this project. Just love to see the success of this, and I will be backing it. So.
Sweet, that sounds good, man. And I appreciate you having me on. Like I said, I feel blessed to even be in the position to be speaking with you or anybody else about it. It's still such a surreal experience for me. I can't even believe that the people involved are actually involved. Like, I feel like I'm dreaming, man. This is, it's probably one of the greatest things that's happened to me. One of my greatest accomplishments, being involved in this.
Definitely. Well, I love to see the success of it. And yeah, everybody donate. Check it out. Kickstarter, Meow the Jewels at Twitter. And yeah, any last words?
Oh, no, that's it, man. Like I said, thanks for having me on here. And just like you said, everybody go donate. Let's make stupid hip-hop history. And let's help some people, man. Let's get this done.
All right. So on behalf of Fly with Meow the Jewels, this is Andy signing off for the Andy Dare Show.
Be sure to follow Andy on Twitter. That's at Andy Dare. And like our show on Facebook. That's facebook.com/The Andy Dare Show. Videos at youtube.com/Andrew Martin Dare. And we're on iTunes. Just search The Andy Dare Show. Please leave a review. Thanks so much to our wonderful sponsors, Uncle Bub's award-winning barbecue, Record Utopia, The Man Great, and Amazon.com. Theme song courtesy of Rich Banks Music. Thank you so much for checking out The Andy Dare Show. TheAndyDareShow.com.